So 5 days into my kidney cleanse, AF shows up, and then I have to honor and respect my body. But also, I want to just continue supporting the body do its own natural detoxification by taking a few foods and teas and soups that will help me to be able to do that. So on my day one, I am able to take some hibiscus tea. So this one is hibiscus tea with a little bit of lemongrass. Now I'm serving myself with this bread and the camphor. The juices from the camphor are just amazing. The star anise, the cloves, spices that I really enjoy when I'm menstruating. But also they just offer it this very lovely aroma. And I'm going to just eat like this for the next 3 days until I go back to the green juices for the next 21 days. Regardless of what you're doing, as long as you're menstruating, you should not be able to detox because the body is already going through its own detoxification. The only thing you can do is support it by eating healthy, dehydrating, resting enough, maybe meditating, breathing exercises, doing some self-reflection, allowing yourself to ground, taking some teas and herbs that will help the body to gently detox, like milk thistle, dandelion, hibiscus, teas that will help to replenish your iron levels because you're losing a lot of iron through blood at that moment. So hibiscus, beetroots, stinging nettle, amazing teas that will help you go through this very moment. Ovulation. So I thought I could make bread out of seeds and nuts today, and the kind of bread I'm going to make is basically seeded with nuts, and then I'm going to use some amaranth, popped amaranth, and I'm going to use some rolled oats. So I want to welcome you to this moment, to this video where we're going to be able to do this together. So I have some oats. I'm going to use 2.5 cups of oats, and then I have some flax seeds, some flaxseed husks. Basically, I milled flax seeds and then I removed most of the the meaty element. I have more of the husk because this replaces the psyllium husk that I was looking for. And then again, I have some flax seeds. These are going to help create the binding and also replace the eggs that I could have used. I have some chia seeds, and all this is going to give me the omega-3 that I'm looking for. Chia seeds, flax seeds, and these are not going to be able to bake for so long on high heat. Then with me also I have some sunflower seeds. We're going to use a 1/3 cup of sunflower seeds, and then a 1/2 cup of pepitas. These are pumpkin seeds. These are very good for your menstrual phase. Also we use them, we pair them with flax seeds when we are doing seed cycling. And then I'm also going to use some crushed almonds. You can use any nuts you have, really. If you have cashew nuts, hazelnuts, almonds, whichever nut is healthy for you. So for me, I prefer to use almonds for that vitamin E that is really very good for the first phase of the cycle. So I have these, and then I'm going to use some popped amaranth, basically my muesli. If you have muesli, this can be very good. My muesli is gluten-free. I use popped amaranth. You can just see I use popped amaranth mixed with some pumpkin seeds and some sunflower seeds. So I'm going to get most of the amaranth off, and then I'm going to use some maple syrup, but really you can use honey if you don't have that. I'm going to use some coconut oil for the MCT oils that I'm looking for, and then I'm going to use golden raisins. This is going to be called seeded cinnamon bread. You can call that your seeded cinnamon raisin bread. I want to eat something that doesn't make me feel like I'm detoxing, yet also it's healthy, and also something that gives me energy. So this bread is also one of those breads that I recommend for anybody who gets tired of smoothies or taking seeds in smoothies, or mothers who have, or rather new mothers who want that energy. You don't want to add on weight, but you want to take pretty much what your body needs. You need seeds, you need proteins, you need fiber, you need healthy fats. So this is one of those breads that you can take for your friend when she's just given birth, and then you tell her you're going to have a lot of energy, and then this bread she will never stop asking for, and then she will learn how to make herself. So this is one of the breads also you can use to balance your hormones, as opposed to eating gluten breads or breads which don't have that much nutritional value. It's low carb, high in protein, very good fats, and then it's also very filling. It keeps you full longer, pretty much also something that you want when you're in your periods. And this I can eat with a soup or with broth. I can eat with like some crushed fruits. I can eat this with some butter. Again, I'm going to show you how to make some butter that you can enjoy this with. And then you get to enjoy your menstrual days, the days when you're reflecting, the days when you're grounding. Also can be the days when you honor your body and eat something really healthy for your body. So let's get mixing. I have these already together, so I'm going to roast up the nuts a little bit. So just get the nuts. Avoid, don't roast the flax seeds and the chia seeds. So I'm going to roast these for 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes really. So spread out on a pan. Roast them, preheat the oven to 325 degrees. 325 for about 20 minutes. Yeah, so while they are roasting, I'll just get a third cup of the amaranth. Yeah. So that muesli is already lightly toasted, so I don't need to add it into the rest of the stuff that I'm toasting. Now I'm going to mix this here. I'll also get cinnamon, 1.5 tablespoons of cinnamon. I'll just add them here. And while the nuts are toasting, we will use 1.5 cups of water, but that's going to be later. And then also we will have a cinnamon filling also that we are going to use later. So while the nuts are toasting, and while I wait to mix them here, I'm also going to soak up the raisins for about 15 minutes. So I'll just put water that fills up the raisins or covers up the raisins. And then just heat them up on low heat so that I can soak them up a bit. So while the nuts are toasting a little bit, this is what I'm going to do. Nicely roasted, they're not burnt, just on low heat. Mix everything up together now. The fruits have softened up. Drain up the water. Add the fruits. It's going to be really nice, don't you think? Then I have a quarter cup of coconut oil. I'll just add it in as well. I'll add in a teaspoon of salt, and then 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. The 2 cups of water. So basically you could use a spatula to make this up, but using your hands is much better. Just get dirty and nice. Okay, so I'm just going to let this set for I'm going to cover it up with a cloth and then let it sit for about 4 hours. You can do this overnight. This bread is so delicious. You really want to give it the time that it requires. And besides, most of us like to prepare things a day before. So I'm making this for, like I said, for my next 3 menstrual days. I have 4 menstrual days. So there's today and then the next 3 days. And this is what I'm going to be eating, because I don't want to detox, and yet I also don't want to eat the unhealthy foods that you find yourself wanting to eat. So I'm just going to cover this with a cloth for 4 hours, and then I'll get start. Okay, so while we wait for the bread to rise, to mix together, for the oats to soften, for everything else to soften and mix together before you can bake it, which is going to take us 4 hours, I figured I could just make toppings for the bread. I could make a butter, or I could think about, anything that I would want to eat the bread with. So I want to make a fruit, like a fruit compote, and then I also want to make a butter, which is a superfood butter, much better than almond butter. So I want to show you how I'm going to do that. So I have here my superfoods, which you're very familiar with. I have my nuts, which I'm going to use to make the butter. I'm not going to use Brazil nuts because I don't do Brazil nuts. These ones I recommend highly for blood type Bs and ABs. So for the O, I'll be remained with the walnuts and the almonds. But I wanted to tell you about the superfood nuts, and then the seeds, and then what else that I'm mixing with. Okay. So I'm going to make a butter out of this, and then this butter can last for 3 months in the fridge. How cool is that? So I'll be able to spread it on pretty much anything. I can use it in a smoothie, I can use it on bread, I can use it on oats, I can use it on muesli, I can use it on the kids' porridge, even my porridge as well. I can use it on brown spiced porridge, I can use it on spiced oats. You can use it on anything. I like to prepare something that I can be able to quickly add on to easy things to be able to have a breakfast. That's the reason why I can spend the whole day just making preparations like today. Yeah, so I've made bread. That bread is going to last me for a week. I'm going to make this. This is going to butter. It can last for 3 months in the fridge. I'm going to make a fruit compote that can last for 2 weeks in the fridge. So I have things that can spice up a very like something that looks mundane, something that looks easy, and makes it taste very good. So this one is a superfood butter. Tastes, and it's going to have more nutritious value than your ordinary almond butter. And I'm not going to roast the nuts. I'm going to add just a little bit of the roasted ones just to give them flavor, but most of what I have here is not going to be roasted. It's just going to be blended. So I have hemp seeds. Yeah, hemp seeds are rich in selenium. Hemp seeds are rich in omega-3, 6, and 9. I can't stress how good they are. The shelled, there's a difference between the hemp hearts and then the hemp seeds which have the shell. So you use the shelled ones, the ones which don't have the outer shell. And then they will be better. So I have these. I have put half a cup of the hemp seeds in here. So then I also have cacao. We said hemp seeds are going to help us with the zinc. They're going to help us with selenium. They're going to help us with the omegas, which will help balance hormones. So I have cacao, which we use to boost mood, but also oxidative stress. Help with helping us stay longer or live longer. Then I'm going to spice it up with some cinnamon. Then I have chia seeds, full of fiber, proteins, some selenium. And then I have flax seeds here as well, full of omega-3, and fiber. These help a lot with constipation, and also these help a lot with binding onto excess estrogen into the body and eliminating it out of the body. So women who are heading into their 40s or perimenopausal, these are some of the seeds that you get to concentrate on. So then I have nuts here, which are going to pump me up with the protein. So I'm pretty much looking out for what I always talk about. Your breakfast has to be rich in protein, good fats, and good fiber. Yeah, we need the fiber for prebiotics to help with the digestion. Walnuts help really with your digestive issues. Walnuts help you with keep your sharp focus, with memory. These are very good for blood type Bs who really suffer from memory loss, also who use up their brain a lot. They have a very high sense of imagination, so they're always thinking. They need some brain foods to keep them thinking creatively. So I have walnuts here, which I also use to boost, to help with selenium. We also use them for fertility, also to balance hormones and all that. So I have almonds as well, rich in vitamin E, good protein source, and also very good with fiber. I don't remove the fiber. You notice I don't use the flaked almonds. And then Brazil nuts, by far the highest in selenium. These are the Brazil nuts. These I highly recommend for blood type Bs. They really need a lot of selenium. These help with balancing our thyroid. Pretty much people who produce too much of the thyroid hormone, Brazil nuts or the mineral selenium helps to do that. So we get selenium from Brazil nuts. So everybody who has hypothyroidism gets to be able to look out for selenium. So this is what we have. This is what I'm going to use. I'm going to add just some vanilla. I'm going to add maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla essence. Then I'm going to process everything in here. Then I have the cacao, a little bit of salt. I put a pinch of sea salt. Yeah, so I'm going to put this into my processor and process away. I'm going to show you the final products and how it's going to look like on the bread already. So you process the dried the nuts and seeds first before you can add the vanilla and the maple syrup. So I have me a very crunchy superfood nut butter. This is going to last me 3 months. I can use it anywhere I want. You can use it in your smoothies. I'm going to be able to add it to use it on spreads. I can use it as a dip. Endless ways in which you can use it. And what's even better is that it's really, really very tasty. Well, this looks nice. And by itself is really ready to eat. I could actually just make no bake balls. Amazing snacks. Yeah. The chia seeds and the flax seeds just keep everything together. I can use this as a snack. For me, for the kids, I can use this as a starter. For people who are on diet or detox and then they need a snack to keep them going. This is ready to eat. So I'm just going to bake it a little bit to make bread. Yeah. My camera woman today wants to eat a lot of it. I just kept on reminding her the recipe did not require me to give you just a little bit more. Because if I reduce some of these, it means the recipe will be altered. So, like Ratatouille says, stick to the goddamn recipe and also stick to your job or being a camera woman. Stop eating my stuff before it is ready. Anyhow, so I have my baking tray, rather dish here. I don't have parchment paper. What do? I'm just going to grease the fruit mix. Oh, it's going to take me for quite some time, so I can spend the hours in the kitchen. But if you're rushing, you can do one at a time. The bread, you can just prepare it overnight, and then you only have an hour or two to bake it. This one is going to take me about 1 to 1.5 hours to bake. So I'll preheat the oven to 400 degrees. And we are going to cook this we're going to bake this for 1 hour, 1 to 1.5 hours, right? So now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put layers, 2 layers. I just I'm going to put a layer, and then I put some cinnamon, and then I put another layer, then I just glaze it with some cinnamon. Just see how I'm going to do that. This bread better taste so good. It's taken some time, but I can almost guarantee you it's gonna taste so good. See what I'm going to do. I mixed up 1 tablespoon of cinnamon with 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and this is going to be my glaze. No, it's not cake. It's just some good seeded bread. You can even use a brush to do this. Cinnamon, raisin seeded nut bread. Okay, so I'll add another layer. You don't have to be perfect. You just know your taste is perfect. So put all of it on the final layer before I top it up. Almost enough for every part. This bread that you can prepare on a Saturday for a beautiful Sunday lunch or Sunday brunch, or bread that you can prepare to take for a friend who has just given birth, or bread that you can prepare to take for a friend. Like I'm trying to suggest to my camerawoman here, the days when I'm too tired, and then she calls me and surprises me, Doreen, I'm bringing you some bread. You'll be fine. I'll be like, oh. Yeah, so this is one of those kinds of breads, or bread that you can use for your self-love day. So I'm going to top it up, and then I will allow for a little bit of a hedge. Yes, I'm going to let my bread go beyond the layer of the pan, because I want it to have that bread hedge. Everything fits into just one corner. You don't want to do this when you're very hungry, because half the pan will end up in your stomach. So it will create a little bit of a dome the moment it starts baking. That's pretty okay. This baby girl is ready to get into low heat, some good time. So when you put it in the oven, you need to keep checking up on it. So you let it stay in for about an hour to an hour, check up on it. But the last 30 minutes, you might need to keep checking up on it to see if it has browned well, it's not burning. You know, you keep making sure that you play with the kind of oven that you have. Good. Can't wait to show you the final products of a seeded nut bread. It's just super food stuff. So don't we love our hormones that much? Okay. Use any fruits that you have. You can use dried pineapple, you can use mango, you can use you can use even fresh fruits. You can use them to make this lovely addition to your breakfast. So breakfast should just cease to be boring, and especially most of us who are turning into healthier options, you're thinking, okay, how can we make breakfast tasty? How can we make them healthy and tasty? I know you're thinking, I'm going to boil the fruits, but I'm going to simmer them. I'm not going to allow them to come to boiling point, and pretty much I'll retain some of the nutrients. So my compote here is going to have my favorite spices to give it flavor. I'm going to use cinnamon stick. I'm going to use some cloves. I put 4 cloves for 2 cups of water. I have put 4 star anise. I love the flavor from star anise. And then cinnamon, and then green cardamom pods. Again, go all in. You can use the spices that like take your fancy. So the fruits that I'm going to use are also my favorites. I'm being intentional about them. Cranberries, because we're doing kidney cleansing. Cranberries are very good for your thyroid health and also for your kidneys. Goji berries are very good adaptogens. They will help you balance hormones. Then of course apricots are very anti-cancer, you know. Then the dates, they're natural sweeteners. I'm not going to have to put honey in this one because the fruits are already sweet, so I'm not going to sweeten them up. I'm going to use oranges, and then I'll use some grated orange peel or the orange zest of one of the oranges. So these are 3 oranges, the zest of one of the oranges. I usually dry my orange peels and then like pulse it up a bit. I like to add this to lattes. I like to add this to juices for the kids. Adds that nice orange aroma. I find the aroma is always hidden in the peels. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to simmer this. To simmer means you bring to a boil and then reduce the heat completely and allow whatever it is that you're cooking to cook on very low heat. This one is going to take me an hour to be able to cook. So I soaked up these fruits for an hour because most of them are really very dry, like I showed you the apricots. And don't worry about the water that stays, because I'm going to have to drain this water out. But for fruits, really, you can even use this water. It's just that I didn't measure it, but the nutrients have stayed in the fruit that has, you know, gotten rehydrated. So I just simply try to rehydrate the fruits up a little bit. Well, I just drained out the other water. So put the fruits first and then pour the orange juice, the zest of, you can even use the zest of lemon if that's what you have. The green, the orange, any color of them, whichever you have. And then put the cinnamon, the cardamom, you know, somewhere close where you can be able to pick them out so that they don't have to go into your fruit at the end of the day. So yeah, that's what I have. I'm just going to cover it up, allow it to come to a boil, and then let it simmer. I'll show you the final product, don't you worry. A lot of goodness for me to wake up to. So I have my campo. I earlier called it compote. I also just learned today it's not called compote, it's called campo. I just put things together. Then I'm brewing some hibiscus tea. My bread is ready. From the oven, I didn't remove it from the baking tray immediately. I let it stay in there because I want it to be a little bit hard. I wanted it to be a little bit hard so that it's easy for me to cut it. And just a slice is enough. Energizes you, but my goodness, this bread tastes so good. I also have the butter here, so if I want some of it, I'll be able to spread it on the bread. But from the taste of it, you really don't need anything else. It's full, it's complete, it's fine as it is. Nutritious, full of fiber, lots of protein. And that's not just it, it's tasty. So when it comes to sit tightly, most people run out of ideas. They're thinking, okay, other than smoothies, what else can I do? Look at all this that we can do with the seeds and the nuts. We can make breads, we can make muffins, we can make pancakes, we can make so much more. We can make butters, we can make dips, we can make dressings. It's so exciting. They get healthy, and when you get creative. Aren't women born to be creative? This is Wellness Together. I hope I catch you again on another video. My name is Doreen. Stay well, stay safe, wash your hands, take care of your immunity, take care of your lymphatic system as well.